Why your first $20,000 changes your brain more than $1 million. The $1 million myth. The host is sitting comfortably, leaning forward. A B-roll shot of someone taking a deep, relaxing breath while looking at their phone screen. I want you to imagine a feeling that might seem completely alien to you right now. You wake up, you pour your morning coffee, and you casually open your banking app. The little loading circle spins. The balance pops up on the screen. And instead of holding your breath, instead of that familiar knot tightening in your stomach, instead of frantically doing mental math to figure out what bills are going to bounce, you just smile. You close the app, and you go about your day. Complete, utter peace. If you listen to the mainstream financial gurus on the internet, they'll tell you that to achieve that level of peace, you need to be a millionaire. They sell you this dream that true freedom only starts when you cross a massive six-figure or seven-figure threshold. They are dead wrong. You don't need $1 million to fundamentally change your life. In fact, the most profound, life-altering shift in your financial journey happens way, way earlier. It happens the exact moment your savings account hits $20,000. Today, I'm going to show you exactly why crossing the $20,000 threshold is the ultimate turning point in your life. We are going to look at how it literally rewires the neural pathways in your brain, how it structurally changes your career, and how it flips the mathematical laws of wealth in your favor. The neuroscience of survival mode. Survival mode. Deep understand why this specific number is so magical. We first have to talk about what is happening inside your head before you reach it. This isn't just math, it's neuroscience. When you are living paycheck to paycheck, or when your savings are constantly hovering near zero, your brain is operating in what psychologists call scarcity mode. Your central nervous system is perpetually trapped in a low-grade state of fight or flight, because your brain knows that a single flat tire, a broken water heater, or a random medical bill could financially ruin you. It treats money as a literal matter of physical survival. And when you are in survival mode, your cognitive bandwidth drastically shrinks. You literally cannot think long-term. You filter every single decision you make through fear. This is why people in survival mode tolerate toxic jobs, disrespectful bosses, and terrible living situations. When you have no safety net, you have no choices. You just have to survive. But then, you start saving, and the data on what happens next is absolutely incredible. According to research from Vanguard, having just $2,000 in emergency savings immediately boosts your overall financial well-being by 21%. Just $2,000 is enough to start lowering your baseline cortisol levels. But when you hit 20,000 times, that's through the self-living good it a 3 to 6 months sitting in cash. Your brain finally receives the signal that the danger has passed. The scarcity loop is broken. For the first time in your adult life, your brain has the cognitive bandwidth to stop panicking about how to survive tomorrow and finally start focusing on how to grow for the next decade. The mathematical snowball. You start so about the shift isn't just psychological. It's deeply mathematical. Building wealth from zero is like pushing a heavy boulder up a steep hill. It is exhausting, agonizing work. Every single step requires maximum effort, and if you slip for even a second, the boulder rolls right back over you and crushes you back to zero. You are doing 100% of the lifting. But $20,000 is the exact moment you reach the top of that hill. Here's the part that will blow your mind. Let's look at the actual math of how gravity finally starts working in your favor. Let's say you get aggressive and you start investing $1,000 a month into a basic index fund, returning a historical average of 8%. To reach your first $20,000, it is going to be a brutal grind. It will take you roughly 19 months of pure, disciplined saving and investing. That is 1.5 years of packing your lunches, skipping the bars, and sweating over your budget. But once you hit that number, the money wakes up and starts helping you push the boulder. Because of compound interest, your second $20,000 does not take 19 months. It only takes 17 months. The next $20,000 does not take 19 months. It only takes 17 months. The next $20,000 takes even less time.
By the time you are aiming for your fifth $20,000, the timeline has violently collapsed. You see, the first $20,000 is the hardest money you will ever make in your entire life because it relies entirely on your own physical labor. But once it's there, it acts as a permanent, invisible employee that works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, accelerating every milestone that comes after it. The boulder is finally rolling down the other side of the hill. The identity shift. Now, let's talk about the silent triumph of what hitting this number actually means for who you are as a person. You do not accidentally save $20,000. Nobody trips and falls and accidentally builds a 6-month emergency fund. It requires immense discipline, intentionality, and the rare ability to delay gratification in a world that is begging you to consume right now. By the time you accumulate this money, you haven't just changed your bank balance. You have fundamentally rewired your own identity. You have proven to yourself, with hard, undeniable evidence, that you control your money rather than letting your money control you. You are no longer a consumer. You are an owner. You are an investor. And this identity shift cures one of the most annoying financial diseases out there, the guilt of micro decisions. When you are broke, every single purchase is a moral crisis. You agonize over buying a $4 coffee or spending an extra $10 on a knicker dinner. But you massive lift-changed bitskeards times 10 on a knicker dinner. But once you have mastered the massive, life-changing habits required to save times 20,000, you stop sweating the small stuff. You realize that a $4 latte isn't going to make or break your financial future because your foundation is made of concrete. You earn the right to breathe, to enjoy your life, and to spend your money without that toxic cloud of guilt hanging over your head. Walking away money and career leverage. And having lack of fear bleeds directly into how you make a living. Let me introduce you to a beautiful concept called walking away money. When you have zero savings, your employer owns you. If your boss demands that you work through the weekend, you say yes. If they deny your promotion, you swallow your pride and go back to your desk. You have to, because if you get fired, you can't pay rent next week. But when you have $20,000 sitting in the bank, the entire power dynamic flips. Because you know you can survive for a solid 4, 5, or 6 months without a single paycheck, you are no longer desperate. You can negotiate your salary from a position of absolute strength. If a client treats you terribly, you can fire them. If a workplace becomes toxic, you can confidently stand up, hand in your resignation, and walk out the door to find something better. You don't need $1 million to say no. You just need enough runway to know you aren't going to crash. That is what $20,000 buys you. It buys you a spine. It buys you the ultimate career leverage. The call to action and the trap. But here is where I have to warn you. The biggest, most heartbreaking mistake I see people make is hitting that $20,000 mark, feeling that rush of relief, and immediately blowing it. They think, I did it. I'm financially secure. And they go out and use it as a down payment on a $50,000 car, or they blow half of it on a luxury vacation to reward themselves. Do not do this. You must reframe how you look at this money. Your first $20,000 is not a reward to be spent. It is the foundational seed of your entire generational wealth. It is the armor that protects your family. It is the engine that is going to drive the rest of your life. If you spend it, you are willingly walking right back down to the bottom of the hill, and you are going to have to start pushing that heavy boulder all over again. So, if you are sitting at $0 or $500 or $5,000 right now, keep pushing. Keep grinding. Ignore the shiny things people are buying on Instagram. Focus entirely on hitting that magic number. Push that boulder to the top of the hill. Because I promise you, the view from the top and the peace of mind that comes with it is worth every single ounce of effort. If this video shifted your perspective on wealth, hit the subscribe button. Let's keep pushing that boulder together. I'll see you in the next one.